Hello everyone and welcome to Siska Stitches and Designs. In this video, I'm going to be showing you how to cut a tube dress from a princess cut pattern. So stay tuned.
Right here, my princess name is already drafted. If you don't know how to do the princess name, there is a video, I'm going to link it up. Drafted the princess name, so I'm just trying to make those lines deeper so you can actually see it. I used pencil to construct it, so I'm just using a fine line marker to illuminate those lines. So after I have done all those markings, here's my curve right here, part of the dot line as well. I go ahead and do my natural waistline, because the dot is going to run from top to bottom, and I make sure to add an extra 1 inch for princess name allowances, because I'm going to be cutting the dot out, so that place will need joining back, so 1/2 inch for one side, 1/2 inch for the other. So now for a bustier, basically, or a tube dress, what I'm going to do is to draw a curve. I usually start from your bust line, or you take it 1 inch up. If you don't want it too low, you can take it 1 inch up and you draw a curve that meets the arm sky. So that's basically how I construct, or how I do a draft a tube dress from a princess thing. So you draw a curve and you don't take it so high so your pattern doesn't look funny. Draw a slight curve and take it all the way to the arm sky. It's that simple. Once you know how to draft a princess thing, it's very simple to do a bustier from there, and you take it all the way to the arm sky. Like I said earlier, if you don't know how to draft a princess name, I have already done that in one of my previous videos. I'm going to link it up, so make sure you watch that in order to know how to draft the princess name. Now for the purpose of what I'm going to be using this thing for, I'm going to be doing a straight line, not a curve. I don't want a sweetheart shape, so it's going to be like a straight line, a straight neckline for the bust area for this tube pattern. So that's what I do, and I take it all the way. When I get to the arm sky area, I draw a curve downward. So it's that simple. I'm going to use my marker to make those lines very visible. Another thing is you can determine whether you want the curve to start from your arm sky line, or you want it to go all the way to the curve of the arm sky and the curving starts from there. Once I'm done with that, like I said, I've done my natural waistline. This is my hip measurement. I mark it there, and I make sure I add an allowance of 0.75 inches, because that's what is at the under bust. I add an extra allowance because I want my dart to run all the way down. So I make sure I add that allowance of that allowance of 1.5 inches, not 0.75. So we're going to be having 0.75 on each side, and then I join the darts all the way down. I do the same thing for the bottom of the dress. It's a midi dress, and for the bottom of my dress, I use my hip measurement, but I subtract 1.5 inches, so it gives me the pencil effect. It is also inclusive of the 1.5 inch dart allowance as well. that's exactly how I'm going to draft my bustier pattern for a midi dress. So I mark my dart measurement of 0.5 inches on each side, making a total of 1.5 inches. And the next thing I do is to join from the hip to the knee. Sorry, the next thing I do is to join from my natural waistline to the hip. I haven't added the extra 1 inch measurement yet. I prefer to do the basic construction, then add my 1 inch allowance. It's pretty simple, very easy. I'm going to join my hip line all the way down to the bottom. Add my extra 1 inch and join as well. So I'm joining the lines of my extra 1 inch, and the next thing to do is to cut out the whole pattern first. I'm going to cut it out first so I don't make any mistakes. Cut out the whole dress pattern. Then once I get to the my natural waistline area that connects my upper torso, the upper part of my body to the lower part, to the hip line, I usually use my French curve to draw a curve out so it moves in sort of smoothly. Yeah, so it moves in smoothly. When I get to my hip area, I do the same thing inside, so it doesn't have this sharp edge on my pattern and also on my fabric, so it has a smooth curve. And then I cut all the way, cut it out totally. The next step is to cut out the dart. It's very important. It's the same process I use for princess seam. For cutting out my darts for princess seam is basically the same thing. The only difference between this is the fact that it's a tube and the other one has a shoulder and all of that. I replaced the 1/2 inch. You can see I did that when I was constructing my princess seam to get the curve. So I'm going to put it back 1/2 inch. I mark it right there. At the bust point, because that's where my dart starts from. It's at the bust point. And I draw a curve from the beginning to meet that point and all the way to my under bust. So my pattern is pretty much ready for the front portion of my tube dress. If you haven't subscribed, please do so by subscribing. Thank you for all the support so far. So over to the back, I have drawn my extra 2 inches for zip allowance, and that top serves as my top line, and that is where I'll be starting my bust measurement from. I don't want to do the whole bodice and then have to cut it out again. So my bust line will start from there. So the measurement will begin from where I have measured out my zip allowance. I do the basic bodice measurement for this. So I mark my bust line with the extra allowance of 1.5 inches. So I do the same thing for my under bust as well, and I make sure to give an extra allowance of 0.5 inches. This is basic construction of normal bodies, only I am starting from the bust. So what I'm doing is making sure I know where my bust line is, and then I mark my distance instead of doing subtractions all over again. So my tape measure on the paper shows where my bust line. I do the same thing for my natural waistline. Mark, do the vertical measurement, do the same thing for the other side. So for all I've done, under bust, natural waistline, I do the same thing for the hip. I do the same, then I add my extra allowances of, I want my darts to run all the way down, and my dart measurement for the back is just 1 inch. I do the same thing for the bottom as well. And it is ready. So for this portion of the tube dress, there is no need to add an extra 1 inch at the side, because I am not going to be cutting the dart out. I'm not going to be cutting the dart out. There is no need to add an extra 1 inch on the side. All I need to do is just join those lines, cut out my pattern, and that's it. So I want to construct my dart from my bust point. Remember, I said at 1 inch allowance at my under bust, a 1 inch dart allowance for the back portion of my bodice. I also made an adjustment to my dart when I was using this pattern on fabric, so you're going to see that 1 inch dart allowance all the way down. So I'm going to join my dart lines now from bust point to under bust, then all the way down to the bottom of the dress. So this is basically how I do the back portion of the bodice, and I'm going to cut it out. So thank you for watching. See you in my next video.